10, 9 Central on CBS.
Coming up, another deadly mass shooting in the United States, this time at a Christian elementary school.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News at 11.
Good evening, I'm Steve Hensley. A 28-year-old opened fire at their former elementary school Monday morning in Nashville, Tennessee. 6 people were killed, 3 of them were 9-year-old students. The gunman is also dead, shot by police. CBS's Christian Benavidez is in Nashville to begin our coverage.
Children held hands as they were taken to safety following a deadly shooting at their Nashville school.
No parent should have to receive that call.
Police say the shooter killed 3 students and 3 adults at the Covenant School, a Christian elementary school.
I was hoping this day would never ever come here in this city.
The students were all just 9 years old, identified as Evelyn Dykehouse, Hallie Scruggs, and William Kinney. The adults, custodian Mike Hill, substitute teacher Cynthia Peak, and head of school Catherine Coons, who was interviewed by WTVF, the CBS affiliate in Nashville in 2019.
Our motto is to be known, to be loved, to be prepared, because we feel like those go together.
Police say the shooter was Audrey Hale, a 28-year-old former student of the school.
We have a manifesto, we have some writings that we're going over that pertain to this day, the actual incident. We have a map drawn out of how this was all going to take place.
Officials say Hale gained entry by shooting through a door and then was killed by police on the 2nd floor.
And they're actually hearing gunfire.
The entire incident happened in just 14 minutes. Terrified parents were seen rushing to the school.
So even in a remarkably fast response, there was not enough time. And those guns stole precious lives from us today in Nashville.
Authorities say the shooter used 3 guns, including an assault-style rifle. Christian Benavidez, CBS News, Nashville.
At the White House, President Biden renewed his call for an assault weapons ban, saying gun violence is, quote, ripping at the very soul of the nation. Here in Kentucky, lawmakers took a step just last week to help increase security measures at private schools. Governor Beshear signed into law House Bill 540, which allows private and parochial schools to enter agreements with local law enforcement to provide school resource officers. Grayson Passmore has more on how this new law will help keep schools safe.
Especially when we have a highly trained individual in our schools to hopefully prevent that thing we dread the most, or that person we dread the most, from ever walking through the doors.
Last year, the governor signed House Bill 63 that requires every school campus to have a school resource officer. And as of Friday, private and parochial schools will be able to do the same.
We do it because it's the right thing, and we do it because we're parents. So I'm the parents of 2 middle schoolers that have had to go through different exercises and even a threat or 2 on their school. But I know that hardworking law enforcement officers have been there each and every time.
We've learned from police the Covenant School in Nashville does not have a school resource officer. And it was just this school year that 2 Fayette County Sheriff's deputies became full-time SROs at Lexington Christian Academy. Partnerships Sheriff Kathy Witt says they'll be able to continue in more schools now.
That protecting our children is number one. And I know sharing being a parent with you, I share being a grandparent with the mayor. We all want our children safe, and we want them safe in school.
Bill's sponsor, Representative Killian Timoney, the Republican from Fayette County, helped create the 10-point safety plan in the Fayette County public school system.
And it was very, very important that the one key facet to our work was the connectedness that we had with our skilled law enforcement officers in the community.
And with the passage of this bill, that work can begin in private schools. In Lexington, Grayson Passmore, WKYT.
The last school shooting in Kentucky was in 2018. A 15-year-old student opened fire at Marshall County High School, killing 2 and injuring 18. It was after that shooting that work began to require an SRO on every campus.
Weather-wise, a tranquil Monday evening in progress. We'll continue to see that through the next 12 to 24 hours or so. Many of us looking to stay dry as we head through tonight and into tomorrow. The view outside from Pikeville Medical Center is quiet. We have just the city lights to look at out there at this point. Temperatures in the 40s in some spots where one of those frontal boundaries is slowly making its way through the region. We're 45 Moorhead, 47 in Irvin, others in the 50s, and we're still pushing 60 in places like Jacksboro, Harlan, and Jonesville, so really dependent on where you are this evening. Next 12 hours, we'll drop through the 50s into the 40s as we wake up in the morning and shoot right back up, or move right back up into the 40s and 50s as we head through the day tomorrow. Your forecast first, brought to you by Frosted Weather Wheats, with a forecast inside every box. Our forecast as we head through tomorrow into the low 40s as we head into the morning hours. Details on when clouds and showers could move back in a few minutes. Steve?
Evan, thank you. Governor Beshear stopped by one eastern Kentucky county late this afternoon, signing 2 pieces of legislation and awarding more than $1 million in funding. WYMT's Keaton Hall has more.
2 bills officially signed by Governor Andy Beshear on Monday. House Bill 157 effectively creates a statewide disaster response unit.
Today is incredible to sign a bill on search and rescue and how we're going to do even better at the next disaster in a place impacted by the flooding.
And the other, House Bill 488, transfers $20 million in Kentucky SAFE funds to the Rural Housing Trust Fund.
To sign a bill that's going to unlock $20 million for housing and rebuilding of housing. This is an amazing community filled with amazing people. It's an honor to help support them.
During his trip to the Cowan Community Center, the governor also presented more than $1.8 million in funding for the county, including $1.3 million towards clean water improvements and $444,000 from the Nonprofit Assistance Fund, including $100,000 for the Cowan Community Center.
It gives us a bit of a safety net, allows us to take some chances and move forward with important work.
Valerie Eisenhorn with the Cowan Community Center says she was inspired by the support she saw for Letcher County on Monday.
We can accomplish so much, and so I felt that today. I felt power, and I felt joy and camaraderie and togetherness here. So that was the most impactful part.
The governor also provided more than $30,000 to tourism initiatives in the county. In Letcher County, Keaton Hall, WYMT Mountain News.
The cities of Fleming, Neon, Jenkins, and Whitesburg all received funding for water system improvements. Governor Beshear is letting Senate Bill 5 take effect without his signature. The bill establishes a complaint process for parents who don't like certain teaching materials being used in schools, such as controversial books. Supporters of the bill say it will give parents more say-so in keeping obscene matters out of the classroom. Those against the bill say it only bans books, especially ones that deal with the LGBTQ community. The governor is also still issuing vetoes. Today, he vetoed Senate Bill 7. It would prohibit wages from being automatically deducted from public employees for union dues or for political activities. The Kentucky Education Association says the bill is designed to only affect educators in the KEA. Tomorrow marks 8 months since the historic flood, and one Eastern Kentucky organization is ending its flood relief efforts. Aspire Appalachia of Breathitt County announced on Facebook last week that because of depleted funding, the organization will no longer provide flood relief assistance to the area. This announcement comes after the organization helped numerous flood survivors like Widge Harold with getting materials to rebuild.
I mean, there were several people that did help, but as far as the government agencies, Aspire Appalachia helped me very, very much more than anyone else did.
Following the flood, Aspire Appalachia helped to provide flood survivors with subflooring, drywall, and other materials needed to rebuild homes. Those with the organization say they are unsure as to whether they will offer the flood relief program again in the future. Now that we are officially in the spring season, it's time to start thinking about working in gardens for some. Donna Smith, the former president of the Garden Club of Kentucky, says springtime is the best time to plant greens such as lettuce and peas. She says for everything else, it's best to wait until June to plant.
That's just a good general rule. When the ground is warm enough for your tomatoes, it's warm enough for other things. You know, your beans, squash, they're tender plants. So just anything that you want to grow, plant it.
Smith also says that garden season is a great outdoor activity for families. She says kids learn a lot and enjoy seeing their seeds turn into food. The Appalachian Center for the Arts in Pikeville is celebrating community and creativity on this World Theater Day. The venue offers shows, educational opportunities, and more, inviting regional art lovers to the city to see the space as more than just a theater. Executive Director Shannon Daniels says the center is like a unicorn, providing an experience that many rural communities do not get.
To be able to have an art center that does so much, that does theater and film and brings in comedians and has this robust educational program and with all the music and everything, it's kind of a magical thing right here in Eastern Kentucky.
The venue has an art gallery on its second floor, which will soon become a selfie station experience for visitors. Coming up on Mountain News at 11, a Kentucky veteran continues his efforts to help people exposed to toxic water on a military base.
Plus, we'll continue to see the potential for cooler weather on the way. Details after this.
What do we believe about people in addiction? We believe that nobody is too far gone. We believe recovery doesn't